I can say the prayer we say before our meal. Bless this house in all the weather. Keep it gay and springy heather.
Just relax. Sit down. Relax.
You will do exactly as my voice tells you. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell.
It was labeled the New Hollywood, a term to describe the decline of the studio system and the emergence of a new generation of film school-trained directors and actors.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
You talking to me?
And hypnosis would once again play a part in this new direction in cinema. In Part 2 of The Secret of Bridey Murphy, Morey Bernstein continues to work on his book.
Have you seen what it looks like in black and white?
Look, Morey, aren't you getting a little too wrapped up in all this?
Oh, honey, of course not. I just want to get it all transcribed and filed so I can find my way about it when I start verifying the facts.
You know, sometimes you act as if you're married to Bridey Murphy instead of me.
Oh, Hazel, that's crazy.
You spend more time with her than you do with me.
No, I don't.
You're sure you're not falling in love with her, Morey?
Oh, for Pete's sake, honey. Don't tell me you're getting jealous of a dame who died 100 years ago.
Yes, when you act as though she was still alive and living on the next street.
Darling, if Columbus had listened to his crew, he'd have turned his ship around 10 days out of Lisbon, and America would never have been discovered.
Nor would Bridey Murphy. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea either.
I suppose you'd like me to quit now, forget it ever happened.
So would Rex.
Look, Deering has to admit it's not doing Ruth any actual harm.
Well, we don't have any children. Maybe that's why we don't see things exactly the way he does.
Hazel, are you jealous of Ruth, or Bridey, or both of them?
Well, I just can't quite see myself as head wife of a hypnotized harem, that's all.
Baby, in that incarnation, you were Belfast and I was Cork.
Mr. Bernstein, ha, ha, ha.
All right, now rest and relax, rest and relax. I want you to think about your birthday. Now, what was the date of your birthday, the month and day of your birthday?
It was in the holidays.
Do you remember the month?
It was the 12th month.
What about the day?
It was the 20th day.
The 20th day of the 12th month.
I got up for a fitting.
Well, what was the fitting for? Why was there a fitting?
For my 3 new slips. I had to have the one done for Genevieve's tea and cakes, and my mother said, we'll just make 3 while we've got you on the board. The little girl likes pretty things.
All right. What else?
My mother spent the whole morning making me 3 pretty slips with sashes. And I had white slippers. They were sent to me. And I wore my white slip with a green sash and my new shoes. And I went to Mrs. Strange's for Genevieve's tea and cakes. And she said, you're a very pretty little girl. She was with her hand out for what I brought her, too.
Did anything else happen that day?
No. That was a lovely day. The party, and the tea and cakes, and the 3 new slips.
Now, try and see yourself a little older. Just move along until you come across something you would like to tell me about.
We were to have special guests.
Uh-huh. What were their names?
McCarthy.
How do you spell that name?
M-A-C-C-A-R-T-H-Y.
How many McCarthys were coming to visit you?
A young man and his father.
Oh, the young man's last name was McCarthy. What was his first name?
It started with a B.
What was his father's name?
His father's name was John.
John McCarthy. Mm-hmm. And his son, what was his name?
His name was Brian.
And what was special about their visit?
Well, I married him.
You married who, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like Brian the first time you met him?
No.
Well, how old was Brian?
He was 19.
Oh, he was 2 years older than you. But you didn't like him the first time you met him.
He was all right. He wasn't anything.
Why did you get engaged to him?
Well, he came to work for his father in the summer, and I went with him, and it was just taken for granted, I guess.
Well, did you like anyone else before you met Brian?
No.
Well, what did Brian do?
He was a barrister, too.
Where did he work?
Oh, he worked at Belfast, and he taught at Queen's University. And he helped his father. Oh, he didn't actually work in his father's office, but his father would tell him of people in that part of the country that he could help with. And oh, I don't know too much about it, you know. He didn't care to tell me. But he just would write to his father, and he would pay him a small amount, but he worked hard.
Big deal. What was the name of Brian's mother?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the Bible. You see, he had a brother. He was a still child, and his mother died. And he went then to live with his grandmother.
Well, was this still child born before or after Brian?
Oh, after. Brian wouldn't have been born if his mother had died.
All right, Brian would have been the older. All right. Now, here's a question I want you to think about. When you were in that lifetime as Bridey Murphy, did you have any particular talent? Could you play the piano? Did you like to go dancing?
Oh, I like to go dancing.
Well, can you think of an occasion when you were dancing and tell us what kind of a dance it was?
You dance when you get married. It's just an Irish jig thing. Dance, and they put money in your pockets. It's a party, and everybody gives their money, and that way you have a gift, you see.
Is there any particular dance that you like best?
Oh, I like the morning jig.
Is that what you called it, the morning jig?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you remember the steps?
Yes.
All right, I want you to go through the morning jig in your mind. You don't have to do anything now. Just relax comfortably now and go through the morning jig. After you awaken tonight, you'll be asked to dance it. And you'll be able to dance it very easily. Now, see yourself getting a little older. See yourself getting a little older. Can you see yourself at the time of your marriage? Can you see yourself at the time of your marriage? What year was that?
Let's see. I was 16 and 18 and 14. 18 and 18.
Well, how old were you? And we can figure it out for you. How old were you when you got married?
I was 20 when I got married. I figured it out for myself.
Oh, I see. Then it was 18. All right. All right, now, are you in a church?
No, I'm not.
Not in a church?
No, I couldn't be married in the church.
Why not?
Because I just couldn't. Father John said you can if you come over to the church, but I didn't want to go over to the church.
Oh, you mean you weren't a Catholic?
No,
What were you?
I was a Protestant. We always say the prayers from the Bible just at our house.
Well, can you say any of those prayers now? Say any one prayer now.
I can say the prayer we say before our meal. Bless this house in all the weather. Keep it gay and springy heather. Bless the children, bless the food. Keep us happy, bright, and good. That's before we eat.
Well, that's charming. All right. Tell me, is the marriage a happy one?
Yes.
Does Brian always provide well for you?
Yes, he's a good man.
Have you any children?
No, no children.
Who married you?
Father John.
What was Father John's last name? Well, did you ever see it printed? Did you ever see it written?
Oh, I saw it on the papers. I saw G. Gorman.
Gorman? Father John Gorman? Is that what it was?
Father John Gorman.
Do you know what kind of a priest he was?
He was a priest at St. Teresa's Church.
Where was St. Teresa's?
It was on the main way.
What's the name of the main way?
Oh, it was off Dooley Road.
What town is it in?
Belfast.
Oh, you live in Belfast now. Can you remember your address in Belfast? What about your address in Cork? Can you remember that address?
Oh, that was the Meadows.
What else?
Just the Meadows.
All right, now, when you lived in Belfast, did you do your own cooking?
And who would do it if I didn't?
You didn't have a maid.
No.
I see. Well, what was your favorite dish?
I like platters or flats of potato cakes. But I certainly had my fill of potato cakes.
What was Brian's favorite dish?
He liked boiled beef and onions. That was his favorite.
Boiled beef and onions?
I'd cook it all day.
Well, was there any particular Irish dish that he liked?
No, that's Irish. Boiled beef and onions is a good Irish dish.
I know. Where did you buy your foodstuffs?
I bought it. Brian bought it at the greengrocer's.
What was the greengrocer's name?
John.
You try and spell it for us.
C-A-R, 2 R's. I'm not much at spelling.
I know, but we can get this. C-A-R-R, you said. C-A-R-R...
I-A-N, just.
Carrion? Oh, Carrigan.
Maybe that's not the way you spell it, but that's his name. You see, we had an arrangement where Brian, well, he helped them with things, and it wasn't the same for anything he bought. That's why he did the shopping. There were places there where he had to do the shopping because he had an arrangement with the proprietors.
All right. How were the streets lighted? How were the streets lighted there in Belfast?
Oh, dear. Oh, I don't know. They were just... That's not for a woman to know. They were just poles with lights on them that were burning some way. I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Ask who?
Brian says I'm getting a chill.
It's about enough, Morey.
I want you to clear your mind completely because in a few minutes we're coming back to the present time and place. You'll feel better than before we started the session. After you awaken, when you're asked, you'll be able to do the morning jig. It'll be very easy. You'll be surprised that you remember it in detail. All right, you're back at the present time and place. You're perfectly comfortable. You feel very, very pleasant. A soothing, comfortable sensation. I'm going to count to 5. And when I reach the count of 5, you'll awaken and feel fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How do you feel, honey?
Oh, wonderful.
You sure you're not too tired? No exhaustion of any kind?
No, really, I feel great. Hurry up and play back what I said. You promised I could hear the whole thing tonight.
Well, don't you have a feeling you would like to dance a jig for us first?
Do what? Oh, Morey, Rex and I haven't gone dancing for years.
Oh, just to humor me, Ruth. Stand over here and maybe you'll suddenly get the urge to do some kind of little dance.
Morey, I don't know any little dances.
Just trust to instinct and let yourself go.
I feel real silly.
What's this business with your hand on your mouth?
Oh, that's for the yawn.
For the what?
Why, that's why it's called a morning jig, because of the yawn.
Is that right, Ruth? Is that what the yawn at the end means?
What yawn? The yawn at the end of what? I told you I didn't know how to do your old jig. Let me hear my own playbacks or else.
You bet.
They were just poles with lights on them. They were burning some way. I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Ask who?
Ask.
Are you cold?
Brian says I'm getting a chill.
Well, how about that, Ruth? How about that, eh?
I couldn't have said all that.
I'm sorry, Morey. That's it. That's as far as we go. I don't care what you're trying to prove.
Is there any particular question you'd like me to ask her?
Ask her if she remembers how she died.
All right, now rest and relax. Rest and relax. Now you're looking at yourself when you were in that lifetime as Bridey Murphy. Try and tell me as an observer so it won't disturb you. Try and remember how you died.
Fell down. Fell down on the stairs and seems I broke some bones in my hip. I was such a burden. Had to be carried about.
How old were you?
66.
Did Brian take good care of you?
Yes. He was tired all the time, though.
In what city were you living when you died?
In Belfast.
Can you remember the day you died?
It was a Sunday.
How much do you remember about it?
A lady came to stay with me so Brian could go to church. He didn't think that I was going to go that fast. And he was terribly upset when he came home and found out that I was dead.
You mean you can remember what happened after you died? After you died, could you watch them bury you? Could you watch them bury your body?
Oh, yes, I watched them ditch my body.
What do you mean, ditched your body?
Put it in the ground for good.
Did you try to tell anyone you were watching them?
No, I was tired.
They ditched your body where?
I wasn't allowed on the hallowed ground.
Oh, you went on hallowed ground. But you did realize that you hadn't died when your body died.
I always wanted to tell Brian. He was so worried that he didn't say enough prayers or go to church or nothing. Something all the time.
Did they have a wake for you?
No, I told Brian I didn't want anyone to be unhappy or mourn for me.
I see.
I was such a burden. I was happy just to go to sleep.
Can you tell us where you went after that?
I stayed in the house with Brian.
Did you try and tell Brian you were there?
He won't listen.
Do you think if he'd really tried, he could have heard you?
I don't know. I think so.
You're not sure?
Oh, I just wanted him to so bad.
Could you tell what he was thinking about?
If I thought about it, I could know what he was thinking. I knew when he needed me, and he missed me after Father John didn't come to the house anymore. He was lonely.
Next time on Hypnosis in the Media.
Why did you go back to Cork?
I went back to see my brother Duncan. He was still alive.
Thanks for watching until the end. If you want to see more, just hit the subscribe button.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hypnosis in the Media. I'm Meg Register, a certified clinical hypnotherapist, as well as an advisor and co-producer of the series. If you're interested in learning more about hypnosis, I welcome you to contact me for a free phone consultation to find out if hypnotherapy can work for you.